Hello everybody and welcome back to the Danish Woodsman. Today I'm gonna start the video by trying to be kind of relatable to you guys, because you know that feeling every time you're about to purchase a knife or some other gear, you're trying to justify the purchase. You're trying to think of, why do I need this? I need to buy this for this specific reason. I have a need for it. Either to justify it for yourself or for the person who you are sharing your budget with. Let me give you 4 quick examples. So, for example, I was like, I need a medium-large field knife that can do crafty tasks and still be light enough to take a beating, but not be so heavy that I will notice its weight on my hip when I'm carrying it around all the time. So I got this, the Bart River Bravo 1.5 LT, a really, really great knife which has seen a lot of love, as you can see in the blade here. Then I was like, now I got a great field knife. Now I need a smaller companion knife, maybe a folding knife I can pull out when I need to do lighter cutting tasks which do not require the force and strength of a fixed blade. Well, bam! Spyderco Paramilitary 2, an absolute classic, which can do all the small cutting tasks I need in an outdoor setting. And just like that, I felt like I had my cutting tools in an outdoor setting covered. Then I moved on to my urban EDC and I was like, I would like a full-size folding knife made from quality materials I can get a full 4-finger grip on. Well, bam, I ended up with this. This is the Zero Tolerance 0542 CF, which I recently did a video about with a very nice Megami titanium bead attached to it. So that would be my full-size folder for urban EDC. Then I was like, well, now I got a folder, but it would be nice to also carry a fixed blade even in an urban setting for utility cutting, but one that would also be able to do sort of more crafty tasks because, well, I like to be creative in my everyday. So I ended up with this. Bam! A very, very nice Bart River Bravo EDC in a very, very nice blue and black lizard C-Tech handle with a very nice titanium bead on here. And as you can see, the Bravo EDC is just a scaled down version of the Bravo 1.5, which is actually a scaled up version of the Bravo 1. But that is not what this video today is going to be about, because this was the first kind of purchase, the purchase that you can sort of justify. And then there's the second kind of purchase, the kind of purchase which you cannot justify, and that is the kind of purchase that we are going to talk about today, because today we're going to talk about this. This is the Chaves ultramar redencion 229, and I have absolutely no use for it whatsoever. It was just so cool, I had to have it no matter what. And before we jump into my first impressions here, I would like to do a quick story time or sort of explanation of the name, because it has a very long name as you just heard. So Chaves redencion 229. The Chaves obviously refers to who made this, or at least who designed it, because this was designed by Ramon Chaves from Chaves Knives. He is an American-based custom knife maker and has been established in the market for quite a few years now, but have recently decided to expand his custom works only into mid-techs and more production-like knives. The ultramar, or just a quick fun fact, so you can see his logo here, this key. And the reason why the Chaves logo is a key, because Chaves actually in Spanish means key. So that was why it's called the Chaves and why his logo looked like this. Then we come to ultramar, and ultramar loosely translates to overseas, because this was not manufactured in America by Ramon Chaves like his customs. This was actually manufactured overseas by the Chinese maker Riyadh from Riyadh Knives. So this is a Riyadh knife we have here. And that's why it bears the name ultramar. The last part of its name, redencion, loosely translates into redemption. And the number 229 refers, probably because his full customs are referred to as 228s, it was just a natural progress to call these mid-techs the 229s. So now I know why it bears the name it does. So let's go ahead and jump in to my first impressions of the Chaves redencion 229. So guys, let's jump right into it with the Chaves redencion 229. And it's important for me to say that this is not a full review video, this is simply my first impressions. And I have to say, with this knife, it was love at first sight, but not at first kiss. And let me explain what I mean when I say that. So, what really drew me towards this knife was obviously the design. And I was really expecting a high quality build with a super smooth action, because I've seen all the YouTube videos there are to see about this knife. So, but what was my first impressions? My first impressions was obviously when I pulled this out of the box, it comes in this really nice, neat red box, a really screaming red box, and I think it fits the Chaves theme really nicely. But the first thing you notice when you pull this out is definitely its weight. It's a super heavy knife. The blade is super thick. The thumb studs are beefy. We have a beefy titanium backspacer. The handles are very beefy and have not been milled, so it's a hefty knife. And of course, the first thing you're greeted with when you open the box are this signature skull clip, which looks very nice in my opinion, and gives this knife some of its character. And obviously the first thing you do when you pull a knife out of the box is you try to flip it open. The only issue here was that I simply couldn't. And I would have known that I wouldn't be able to if I had done my research on blades forms more thoroughly. Because the redencion 229 is famous for having a very strong detent, and it's something that's commonly known among Chaves fans and knife people in general, and you can find this information on all forums. So this knife has a super strong detent. I've had this knife for a couple of days now, and it luckily has broken in very nicely. But when I got this knife, there was absolutely no way for me to open it with one hand. This was practically a friction folder when I got it. But as I said, luckily it has broken in. But I have to say honestly, when I got it first, I was kind of heartbroken. This is by far and away the most expensive knife in my collection, both in terms of fixed blades and folders. And when I pulled it out of the box and expecting a great action, because I've seen all the YouTube videos displaying a great action and all the reviewers telling me that it will have a great action, and finding out it didn't, I was kind of bummed. But if you are persistent and if you keep flipping this knife open or opening it with both hands, eventually it will break in. It will take some time, you will have a sore thumb, but it will be worth it, and the action will improve, and it will get even better and better over time. As you can see now, I'm able to easily flip the knife open with my thumb. When flipping the knife open, it is, however, very important that you do not put any sort of pressure on the lock bar. I use this grip, so I rest all my fingers except my index finger on the clip here and simply push. I don't push so much out. I push kind of upwards on the thumb stud here, and we get a super nice deployment. And I have to say, it's quite a violent deployment as, for example, compared to the 0542 CF, which has a not as strong detent. But I really feel like every time you press you launch the 229, it really, I can feel the knife banging into the stud pin up here every time I open it, because the detent is so strong. And I have to say, you really need to listen to this. This is the only knife I have where I can actually hear the detent on the way up also. Take a good listen. So you hear that? 2 clicks. One for the detent ball, and then the final one when the lock bar slides into place. Are you ready? One more time. So yeah, that really says something about how strong the detent is in this blade. And you can see it's already developing quite a nice drop shotty action. So overall, let's jump into my first impressions. So overall, in my first impressions, this lived up and delivered the first impressions I was expecting to have, minus of course the very sticky action. But I expected a hefty knife, and I definitely got that. I expected a blade with exceptional grind lines and exceptional grinds, and the fit and finish I expected to be super nice, which it is. Furthermore, I expected the Chaves feel. I know it's kind of a weird thing to expect, so to say, but I still feel like I own a proper Chaves knife with this in hand. I'm very, very happy about that. I really think that Riyadh and Chaves really nailed this collaboration and were able to provide his premium design to a larger market and still not lose too much of the authentic feel in this knife. So overall, I'm very, very happy with my purchase, and I'm looking very much forward to putting this knife in my pocket and putting it to good use and a lot of use in the near future in order to bring you guys a review on it and myself a lot of joy, because I'm really, really happy I got this knife. As I said, even though the action was bad in the start, it's definitely beginning to break in, and I definitely and still happy I threw away a very, very large amount of money after this knife. And as I said, this is by far and away my most expensive knife, and I'm very much looking forward to getting to use it some more and be able to give you guys my thoughts. But if you have enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate a like and maybe a subscribe. And I would also like to take this opportunity to promote myself, because I've recently opened up an Instagram account. So if you would like to see actual nice pictures of the gear you see here on the channel, such as the Chaves or the Zero Tolerance, instead of shitty videos, you can actually see quite nice pictures. So definitely go ahead and give me a follow there too. The name is the_Danish_woodsman. And that was it for me. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Now I definitely think it's time for you to go outside and get your boots dirty and enjoy the beautiful autumn or fall weather. And I'll be sure to see you out there. Peace out.